Tom Loper, born and raised in Alabama, grew up along the Gulf Coast, went to college and law school at the University of Alabama, moved up to DC to practice law in '05. Was an attorney for 3 years, decided I wanted to go back and get an MBA, looked around, ended up at GW. The stuff I was working on as an attorney was interesting, but what I kept seeing was a constant, and that is a lot of what the companies needed from an attorney they would not need had it been done right in the first place, had good business decisions, solid business decisions been made to start out with. And so I started thinking to myself, what can I do to get more in the business side of things? I didn't have a business undergraduate degree, I was a science undergrad. So I went back, I looked, and I decided an MBA was a great fit. It was a great way to get a background in a lot of different business areas without getting a specific expertise in anything. So I looked at MBA programs around and I found one, or the ones that I thought would be a good fit for me. A graduate program, you are about career development. And in all honesty, it's about what that is going to help you get out of the next step in your life. You do have that other side of it where you want a great collegiate experience, but you've been through that. Graduate programs, you want an education that's going to suit you, that's going to further your career and advance your goals in life. And you want to do it with people that you know are going to in that same mindset and that are going to help you to grow. And I looked at schools based on their international reputation, their national reputation, what business people that I had worked with, what they thought of these different programs. And I wanted something that was going to advance my career and that was going to take me to the next step. GW really summed that up with all of the schools that I looked at. I looked at schools in Boston, New York, Philadelphia, but DC is a unique place. I'd been in DC, I knew what DC had to offer. I knew the people here are great people. There are so many great and interesting resources that you can benefit from. And GW is really at the top of that. Their location puts them right next to the World Bank, the IMF, the White House. So you have those types of contacts. You have professors that they don't teach it, they do it. They're actually out there in the field, they're doing all these interesting things, they're working on these big business concepts. I had a professor come to me a couple of weeks ago and he's working on a project with USAID and he needed legal advice on how they could go forward with it. And you're not going to get that at a lot of schools. These are professors, these are professionals that are doing it and actually doing it and pulling their students in and making them a part of these projects. And you're not learning, you're doing, and that's the thing that we keep hearing, keep saying, keep doing at GW is you're doing, you're not just learning, you're doing, and that's really what it sums it up. Well, the great thing about buying and living on U Street is that there's always something new popping up. There's a new restaurant every couple of weeks, a new bar every couple of weeks. There's different neighbors and constant changes and transitions in the neighborhood. And that's great to me because you're always talking to different people. You're always meeting unique people. You're always going to these restaurants and these bars that have different types of foods and different types of cultures, atmospheres, and peoples. And it's those changes that are really what bring people to DC, I think, for that melding together of everything. And this neighborhood, the U Street area, is really the epitome of that in Washington, D.C.